Everyone, my name is Keela Bryce, and today we're going to be talking about consequences in relation to curbing behaviors. Behaviors are actions that can be seen or directly observed by anyone, such as smiling, hitting, laughing, clapping, spitting, dumping their food over when they don't want it anymore. Consequences are actions or responses that occur after the behavior. So this is something that you do in response to a target behavior that you want to increase or decrease. Reinforcers refer to consequences in which a person gets something that they want, which strengthens behaviors and are likely to increase the behavior. So you want to use a reinforcer, or what I like to call a positive consequence, to increase a behavior that you enjoy. A punisher is a consequence that weakens or decreases behavior. I wouldn't really refer to a punisher as that. It's more likely a negative consequence. It's something that the individual does not like or does not want. Therefore, it has a negative impact on their behavior, which in result causes them to not want to do the behavior anymore. Now, positive and negative consequences can be interchanged. You can use a negative consequence to increase a certain behavior. You can use it to decrease a certain behavior. Likewise, the same with a positive consequence. You could use it to increase or decrease a behavior. In this video, you will learn about specific consequences and how they can be used negatively or positively to increase or decrease a behavior. Attention has two variables. Those are how much attention you give a person and what kind of attention that they want. There are 4 subcategories to attention, and right now I'm going to discuss regard or notice. Acknowledging the behavior. A positive way would be your child takes out the trash. Instead of you just assuming and expecting them to do it, for a while you continue to tell the child, thank you for taking the trash out. You acknowledge the fact that they did something on their own that really helps you, that pleases you. They're going to continue to do that because they want to help or they want to please, or just because you're showing them some kind of acknowledgement for doing something and you're making a big deal out of it. In terms of another example, one that's personal to me, my daughter moves around a lot when we go out to eat. Typically, if we hold her attention, i.e. speaking to her about her likes and dislikes, she tends to sit still. This makes dinner go by a lot smoother, and we tend to not bother other people. These are both positive ways to utilize regard in terms of attention. Now, a negative way you can use regard is to use what I like to call the wait strategy. This is something that I've utilized in my work. I have an individual that tends to curse at staff sometimes. When you're speaking to them, they're very inappropriate with the words that they use. And with me, the only way I can get this individual to realize to not curse at me is to not acknowledge their cursing. Therefore, whenever they curse at me, I choose not to speak back. I choose not to respond to them. I do not remove myself from the situation. I still sit there and my presence is there, but I do not acknowledge them. If the behavior decreases, then I will speak to the individual. However, if it continues, then I will withhold speaking or acknowledging their behavior. For me, this works. For other staff, it doesn't. Another example that we could go both ways with it is, let's say you cook something and it's something new that your children have never tried before. If they tell you that it's wonderful and it's good and it's delicious, you're going to continue to want to cook this specific meal. Now, on the flip side, let's say the children don't like this meal and they never want you to cook it again, and they tell you that it's horrible, it's disgusting, it smells funny, it looks funny, it tastes funny. You're going to be more likely to not want to cook that meal again. And not only will you more than likely not want to cook that meal again, you might not want to cook any new meals again. And that's the same way that it works for us. So as parents, we kind of experience regard in a positive and negative way from our children. Overall, you can use regard either positively or negatively. It just depends on how that affects the specific behavior and the specific individual or child that you are dealing with. Some children might work better with the weight, what I call the weight strategy, which is withholding regard and attention because they seek a high amount of it. On the other side, you have positive consequences for regard or notice, where you provide it for individuals or children that don't specifically search for it often. Either one can increase or decrease behavior. It just depends on how you are utilizing it and which target behavior you're utilizing it for.
Hi everyone, my name is Ken Roy. Welcome to our group project. One type of attention that can be a negative or positive consequences is approval or status. Approval or status give the individual the experience of pleasing others, other person, outdoing others, or exceeding expectation. I will demonstrate some examples. Attention as a positive. Some consequences increases behavior. Example 1, behavior. After dinner, you asked Tim to put away all the dishes. After dinner, Tim put away all the dishes. The consequences is you provide approval. Great job, Tim. You are the best table cleaner in this house. Adding approval increase cleaning the dishes. So tomorrow you might not have to ask him to clean the dishes. He just clean the dishes. Example 2. Your child went to school flicking the lights on and off, annoying other students in the class. The consequences is the teacher smile and tell the child to stop. The child see this as approval, and the behavior of flicking the lights on and off will increase. Attention as a positive, remove or withholding consequences decreases behavior. For example, the student interrupt the teacher and asks a question, did I do a good job? The consequences is the teacher ignored the student until appropriate time. So the teacher withhold approval. By withholding that approval, the behavior of interrupting will decrease. Example 2. Your child get bad grade in school. The parents tell the child they are disappointed, thereby withholding approval. The behavior of getting a bad grade decreases in order to get approval from the parents. Remember, it may take several instances for the individual to associate his or her behavior with the consequences. Just be patient and consistent, and you will notice the changes in this behavior. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Cassandra, and today we'll be discussing how to use affection as a consequence for increasing or decreasing behaviors. Now, let's remember that a consequence is just a result of a behavior, whether it's negative or positive. And affection is something that we show our kids on a normal basis, so using it as a tool for behavior management can be a little tricky. First, let's take our pets, for example. When our dogs or our cats or any other pets do something that we favor, we greet them with a good boy or a pat on the head. The affection reassures our dog that we favor the behavior, so the behavior is likely to continue. Obviously, our children are our pets, so another example would be a child that wakes up grumpy, uncooperative in the mornings, and just creates kind of a problematic morning for everybody involved. Let's say that instead of matching the stress and the chaos from the child, that would most likely decrease or increase that behavior. Let's try adding in a little more affection with, good morning, I'm so happy to see you. How did you sleep? Greeting them with the affection as opposed to the negative could create more peaceful mornings and decrease the grumpy mornings. Another example would be in a classroom setting. Let's say little Joey strikes little Bobby. First, we're going to use the social disapproval towards Joey by saying, "No, Joey, we don't hit." And then we're going to move over to Bobby and we're going to show Bobby affection by telling him it's not okay for other students to hit you. Are you okay? And hopefully, by showing Bobby the affection after he is hit by Joey, it will decrease Joey's behavior in hitting and showing him that the affection will be given to another student who is trying to follow the rules.
Hello, my name is Candy and we're working in a video. It's a behavior. Escape is when a person tries to avoid an object or activity, and we're going to use consequences, positive versus negative. You're here from school. How was school? Good. Do you have homework? No. What do you mean you don't have homework? Okay. What are you doing? Watching videos. Not watching videos. It's time to do homework. I don't want homework. I want to watch videos. Well, right now it's homework. Okay? You're not gonna watch videos if you don't do your homework. Okay? No. Why not? It's very important. So if you don't do homework, I'm gonna take away the tablet and then you're not gonna play with it. Okay? If you do your homework, then you're gonna be playing with the tablet. Okay? Which one you wanna do? You wanna do homework so you can play with your tablet? And if you don't do homework, that's it. You're not gonna play with the tablet. Okay? Tablet is gonna be taken away. So what I was using with my son is consequences, positive versus negative. He doesn't do homework, he doesn't get to play with the tablet. If he does homework, he gets to play with the tablet. So he was trying to avoid homework so he can play with the tablet. But once he see the tablet is being removed from him, he was cooperating to do homework. See, that's not that hard to do homework. So now you're doing homework. Once you finish with your homework, you get to play with the tablet. Good job. As I see, he's doing homework with no problems because he wants to get rewarded. He wants to get to play with the tablet. And if he doesn't do it, he's not going to do homework, but he's not going to play with the tablet. Very nice, Adrian. You did finish with your homework. I told you. See? It's not that hard to do homework. And he doesn't give me no problems. And he doesn't get the attitude unless he works with me and he gets to play with the tablet. Now you can watch a movie. You want to watch a movie? Yeah? Okay.
Hi parents, my name is Chelsea, and in this section we will be discussing tangible rewards. What I mean when I say a tangible reward is a form of behavior modification. So whether you're wanting to increase or decrease a behavior, a reward system will help in doing so. An example of this would be if you have a child who has a hard time getting out of bed for school. So every day it's been a struggle, and sometimes they're late or running behind because they just won't get out of bed in the morning. So now you can introduce a reward for your child getting out of bed. An example of this would be every day they get up and they get out of bed on time and they're on time for school. You give them $1 because their favorite snack costs $1. You let them know that because they were able to get out of bed and be on time for school, that this is the reason they're receiving this dollar. And so now the child is able to put two and two together. So if I get up on time and I'm able to get to school on time, I'm going to get that snack that I want because mom's going to give me $1. And then on the flip side, when they don't get up on time, then they know that they're not going to be able to receive that reward that they enjoy every day. So the chances of the child getting up on time increases because, well, there's a point to it now, versus staying in bed and they're not receiving that snack that they like. And the key to modifying the behavior is consistency, making sure that every time that they're on time, that you reward them, and also every time that they're not on time, that you do not reward them. And then a pattern develops, and it's a perfect example of why tangible rewards works.